Tell us, when it comes to world hunger, what does the overall picture look like right now?
Thank you so much for having me. So, like you mentioned, it's not a very good picture. About 673 million people are facing hunger globally, and it's worsening in Africa and in the Middle East. And the number, to be honest, is reducing in parts of Asia and Latin America. And 1 in 4 Canadians are facing food insecurity. So it's very much a Canadian story as well.
So when you say 1 in 4 Canadians, what more is the new data telling us about how families here are eating?
Well, families here are struggling. So the recent Dalhousie Food Sentiment Report shows that 34% of Canadians are having to draw on their savings or they're borrowing money to put food on the table. Only 24% of Canadians are considering nutritious foods or nutrition as a factor when they are filling their shopping carts. So majority of people, double of that 24%, about 50% are citing affordability as one of the reasons for them putting things in the shopping cart. So it's Canadians are struggling right now.
And, there is some of that difficulty as well, of course, because when you look at prices within that grocery store, you do see that some of the more processed foods are showing up at less expense than it comes to the fresh. Is that all to do with markets that are driving up those prices?
Absolutely. So we all see it's the markets, but it's an affordability crisis, as we know. We've seen the gas pumps prices are almost double. So that is having a downstream effect on the prices of groceries, and Canadians are bearing the brunt of that increase in price without a corresponding increase in income.
Very true. Now, what can Canadians be doing in order to try and mitigate some of the price crunch when it comes to affording to put food on the table?
Well, like I said, Canadians are doing everything they can. They're already borrowing money. They're already dipping into savings. So it's not about what an individual Canadian can do. Like I said, it is an affordability problem. So the system needs to be supporting Canadians more. So there was the recently announced groceries and essentials benefits, which is a step in the right direction. But food insecurity is very, very, very complex, and it needs multi-layered solutions.
Certainly. So is that benefit really making in your opinion, is that making a difference for families, or is it a drop in the bucket when it comes to trying to pay for food for the family?
So it's a step in the right direction, but programs like this do not actually solve food insecurity. They can help reduce some of the immediate impact of the financial strain, and it can improve access to nutritious foods like we talked about, particularly for children and for vulnerable families. As such, they can be understood as very important components of addressing the problem. But again, it's a much more complex, broader ecosystem of support that is required. And again, affordability. That's the main issue. The income is not rising with the increased cost of living.